Well, hello folks out there in YouTube land. Got a very interesting show set up for you. Yeah, we're going to talk about the top 10 QBs in college moving forward for 2025, obviously. Also going to talk about what happened with Brock Vandergriff, his future, all of that type of stuff. But let's start out with the best quarterbacks out there. And I like talking about the quarterbacks because honestly, they are by far the most important player on the team. It's really not that close. They're number one, number two, number three. And then everybody else is fourth, fifth, and sixth. That's just the way that it is. That's why they get the big bucks. They touch the ball every single time. Now, you can try to have a good team without a great quarterback.
I dare ya.
Yeah, I dare you. And we're going to talk about a couple different articles. One did a top 10 of the country of quarterbacks, and then another one did top 5 of the SEC. And I think you'll find this pretty interesting, this list. Obviously, they disagree, and I'm going to have a very strong opinion about all of this. And this first one's by Brad Crawford, and he started out putting Jackson Arnold at number 10 for Auburn. I got to tell you, I would not have put him 10th. I wouldn't put him in the top 10.
How dare you?
He didn't play that great last year for Oklahoma. I know he didn't have a lot of people to throw to. They had a ton of injuries. I said it was because of their bad field. They had a wet field that the grass was really high. And one of our, actually Dylan Sampson said you couldn't even cut on their field. And if you tried to, you'd probably get injured. He said all I could do was just go downhill. So I'm wondering if that didn't cause all those soft tissue injuries. Now, the Oklahoma fans are going to give me grief over that comment, but look, we played on that field, and it was tragic. Anyway, Jackson Arnold, number 10, going to Auburn. This, gosh, man, I hate to say this. This feels very Peyton Thornish to me. Now, granted, Jackson Arnold was a 5-star. You know, he was a big phenom out of high school, and he's considered a running quarterback. He's an okay running quarterback, but he's not that fleet-footed. He's a guy that's, he's just okay at it. He's got a nice arm, but I don't know. We played against him, and I wasn't impressed. So we'll see what happens. They do have Deuce Knight down at Auburn, so that's a guy you might see at the end of the year. So I think their future's okay, but, man, that's a big risk. Now, number 9, Diego Pavia. As many of you know, this is just about one of my favorite quarterbacks out there. He was a blast to watch. This guy's got moxie on top of moxie. He's a winner. That's just the deal. And he went into the transfer portal out of New Mexico State, and he wanted to go to Auburn. And Hugh Freeze wouldn't have him, said he wasn't talented enough, I guess. Who knows? I guess he didn't fit the system. So Pavia went out and beat him a third time. He beat him when he was at Liberty, and then he beat him twice at Auburn. And he even commented after that game, he said, oh, yeah, I was going to make him pay the price. So there you go, Hugh. Man, it feels like I'm giving Auburn a lot of grief in this one. And they're a talented team, so calm down, Auburn. You'll be okay. All right, number 8, Drew Aller for Penn State. He actually had some real nice numbers, 3,300 yards, 24 touchdowns. He also runs the ball pretty well. I thought he had a pretty strong game. I am perfectly fine having him at number 8. I think he's a good quarterback. All right, number 7, this Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana. I watched him at California. He's a good quarterback. He's one of those really tall, lanky dudes, and they take a little bit more time to develop, kind of like Nico, because they're just not as coordinated at first. But, man, once they get moving, especially a guy 6'6", you can see over the line perfectly, and it really helps you. And a lot of people are high on this guy. You know, he threw for 3,000 yards last year, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I think he'll play well. And this is a nice pickup for Indiana. Indiana, they got good quick. They spent a bunch of money in the transfer portal. I believe they spent like $12 or $13 million. You're right here, $13.6 million. Everybody was wondering, how did Indiana get so good so quick? Because the truth is they've been terrible up until last year, but they found their checkbook, and they went out and got some good players, and they had a great season. And they clearly decided to go out and get one of the best quarterbacks available. All right, now number 6 is Lenora Sellers. This is a guy that has tremendous upside. He threw for 2,500 yards, 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but he ran for 674 yards and 7 TDs. This guy is a phenomenal athlete. I've been kind of rooting for this dude from day one. 3-star athlete, 4.0 student, wore those 70s goggles starting out. Just an overall good dude. Now, he started out this year as a redshirt freshman, and he was rough. It was ugly to watch him throw the ball at first, throwing interceptions here and there. But, man, he got better and better and better, and he's the best running quarterback in the country, in my opinion, and one of the most fun to watch. I will be watching a lot of South Carolina football games this year coming up in 25 because I want to see what this guy does. He's almost must-watch TV. All right, now Carson Beck. Boy, you want to talk about a lightning rod. Good grief. Went down to Miami, got the big bucks, went down there with his girlfriend, which, look, the money and the girl, it's a pretty good choice. And Carson's a good quarterback. He takes a lot of grief. He would have been a first-round pick had he left a year before, but he didn't play as well this year. I still think he's got a terrific arm. You know, he got hurt in that ball game against Texas in the SEC first half championship game towards UCL, one of those stupid Hail Mary halftime things. I hate that play. It's so dangerous. It takes 4 or 5 seconds for the receiver to get down the field. Everybody knows you're going to throw it, and they seem to always get hit at the last second. Anyway, I'm fine with him at number 5. I think he's a darn good quarterback. I'm going to get a ton of grief in the comment section. It's going to be awful.
Back off me, man. Back off.
But anyway, I think I'm fine with him at 5. All right, Sam Levitt at Arizona State. This guy's a terrific quarterback. Look here, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 443 yards running. He is quick as a cat, too, and makes good decisions. I think he's terrific. And he's the guy that Jaden Rashada, remember, he was starting over there. And I guess once he got out there, it was like Jaden was like, it's not going to work out for me here. So then he went to Georgia, and then he's back in the portal. I'm not sure who picked him up, but I wonder if he ever got his money down there at Florida.
Where's my money? Where's my money? Yeah, you got money to pay for fake mustaches, huh?
Yeah, they owe him like $13 million, or at least their collective did. Anyway, this guy's great. Him at number 4, I'm fine with. All right, Arch Manning at number 3. I have no idea what to do with this. This guy being, I don't know if he's the third best quarterback. Nobody knows. He'll probably play really well. You know, you look at his numbers, 61 and 90 for 939 yards, 9 TDs, 2 interceptions. He can run. He'll probably have look, he's going to have great players to throw to. He's going to have a great offensive line, great running. He'll probably play really well. So I wouldn't have him third. I'd probably have him like 7th or 8th just because question mark. All right, number 2, Garrett Nussmeier, LSU. Great arm. Pretty much you've got an assistant coach out there on the field. Numbers, he threw for 4,000 yards, 29 TDs. He did have 12 interceptions. I'm not as high on him as everybody else, and it's simply because he's not a great running quarterback. He can run a little bit, but he's not going to scare you at all like a Jaden Daniels did for LSU. That guy couldn't be stopped. I wouldn't have him at number 2 because I want a running quarterback on my team. I do not want a stationary quarterback, which is basically what he is. He's more of an old school dude. Anyway, they've got him at number 2. I'd probably have him about 6 or 7. And number 1, Cade Klubnik's what Brad Crawford has as his best quarterback for next year. Now, Cade's a very good quarterback. He threw for 3,600 yards, 36 touchdowns, and he runs 463 yards. That's great. He's a darn good quarterback. I could see him being number 1. I could understand that. He's going to put up great numbers. Clemson's a terrific team for the most part, so I'm okay with that. Now, you notice we were missing a player. He didn't think much of Nico Iamaleava.
Oh, well, there's strikes 2 and 3 right there.
We're getting ready to see where he falls, if he falls at all, into the top 5 in the SEC in this next list. All right, now this one comes from the South Carolina Gamecocks on SI by Alex Joyce. And you would think they're going to have Lenoris way up there. We'll find out. Now, this is in the SEC. Now, they started out with Arch Manning at number 5 in the SEC. I'm fine with that. That's about where I would put him because he's unproven. We just talked about him. Number 4, they put Lenoris Sellers, number 4 in the SEC. You know, you just got my opinion on it from the earlier. Garrett Nussmeier, they put at number 3. I'm okay with that. I would have him at 4, and you'll understand that here in a minute. Number 2, DJ Lagway. I was surprised he wasn't put in the top 10 of that other list, but they've got him number 2 in the SEC. DJ could be fantastic. He's got a great arm, big-time 5-star. He can run when he's not, got a hammy. And I'm concerned about going down to the swamp next year. My team, the Vols, oh, man, it's going to be rough. We got to play great to beat them down there, and we've got to get that monkey off our back because it's just I'm sick and tired of the swamp. I'm over it. But DJ could be terrific. He played great for a true freshman and one who was out there kind of, hamstrung, so to speak. So look for DJ to be a very interesting player to watch. Now, they've got Nico as their number 1 heading into the SEC next year, best player in the conference. And that could very well be the case. He had 2,600 yards, 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He ran the ball well when he did run it. So I'm looking for him to run a lot more in 2025. I think he will. I think it'll be safer for him. He'll be bigger, stronger, all of those good things. And the guy's got all kinds of arm talent. He could be special. And usually you see the big jump between year 1 and year 2. Now, I know the comment section, I'm going to have some people, oh, Nico didn't live up to his $8 million, and all that. Now they want more money. Look, the biggest jump's year 1 to year 2, and I can promise you, if he'd have gone out in the transfer portal, there have been plenty of people that have paid him big money. It's just the way that it is. Sometimes familiarity breeds a little bit of resentment, and so I see that all the time. So there's even some South Carolina fans that don't think Lenores is all that great, and I'm like, I don't know what the crap you're watching. Or even DJ. It's hard. Sometimes you can be too close to a situation. I promise you, people on the outside, they see the talent of Nico and where he's going to be. I think he's going to be terrific. But, that's my opinion. All right, now let's talk about something that interests me, and that's Brock Vandergriff and the fact that he's retired. He actually talked about that and all that stuff. And this is a guy that I thought was a big pickup for Kentucky. He was the backup quarterback at Georgia, 5-star recruit. Been waiting in line behind CARSON BECK and Stetson Bennett. And he started out, he looked really good at Kentucky, but once he got into SEC play, Kentucky's porous offensive line, it didn't go too well. And let's see what he had to say. And this is a story on Kentucky Sports Radio by Nick Roush, who is one of our all-time favorites here in Tennessee. Said, Brock, he said, I just wanted to go on to the next stage of his life. And, they were 4-8 last year. His numbers were not good. And I think injuries played a role. He said, and I quote, it wasn't like I was fired up to go in there every day. As a quarterback, that's kind of what you need. He said, your team relies on you. I didn't feel like I was able to be at my best every day because of the whole situation. He had injuries, tons of them. His ankle, his AC joint, he got that really bad concussion from the hit by James Pierce, which was a very clean hit. He just ran into him and knocked him over. It wasn't where he piled him into the ground or anything like that. But when you hit your head on the ground, that's when the concussion can happen. As a matter of fact, Pierce, his helmet hit Pierce's chest because Pierce is a big, tall dude, and he was kind of ducked over. And I didn't think it hurt him that bad, but it obviously did. He only had 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, threw for 57%. That's just no bueno. And Mark Stoops wanted him to come back. He said, basically, we could do this and we could do that, and we'd love to have you come back. He said, I just said, Coach, it's nothing against your program or you at all. It was more of my decision more than anything else. There weren't any external factors that played into it. I won't say burned out. He said, I just was ready for the next stage of my life. And he loves to hunt, and he's an outdoorsman down there in Georgia. I'm sure he's a big fisherman. And he walked away from a pretty good NIL deal up there in Kentucky where I know he got some good money. So I can, look, if you can't go out there and be 100% and you're constantly getting injured, he probably just, he saw the forest for the trees. And sometimes that happens. It's not like playing basketball or baseball. If things go poorly in football, you can get hurt real bad. It's a very dangerous sport. So I don't blame guys for quitting early in a situation like that. You see it in the NFL all the time. The average age of an NFL player, they last to about 59. That's the average age of death of an NFL player, whereas a normal average person that doesn't play sports to that level, it's 76. So if you play college and NFL, based on an average over the last, 20 years or so, you're giving up 15 plus years of your life because it's that dangerous. Now, I think we'll see that number improve from 59 because a lot of the guys, well, first of all, they're being protected from concussions way better than they ever have been. That's number one. Number two, a lot of guys, they leave while they're still put together. And again, you don't get killed like you used to. If you've ever watched the 85 Bears, what they did to quarterbacks and other players, it was terrible. And it was never a late hit. If you did any of that today, you'd be thrown out immediately. All those late hits. But those weren't late back in the 80s. That was just the way they played. So anyway, did want to cover these quarterbacks and also talk about Brock Vandergriff. I thought that was an interesting story. I'm not going to play the Nick Roush ranting thing. I've kind of worn that out a little bit, but it'll come back. Don't worry. Nick didn't get put on Mount Rushmore for no reason. I know y'all going to be disappointed, a few of you anyway, but that's okay. You can go back, watch some other videos and see his rant. I'm going to cut him some slack. Although it's a great rant. It is. Dang it, I'm going to put it in there. I'm not even getting on the guy. It's a great rant.
Can we just beat this team? I know that Mark Stoops has done a lot of good things. This is his one really bad thing. The stupid stat about beating teams with a winning record and taking the next step and blah, blah. Just freaking beat Tennessee. Please, can we just stop losing to this stupid team with their stupid orange colors, their stupid song, and their woo, get their woo on out of here.
Anyway, there you go. If you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover all these big college sports stories. And if you haven't subscribed, hit this little button right here. Help you get my videos. Won't cost you a dime. And right over here is the most recent video. YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay. Nick's probably a really good dude. I bet he is.